Well, good morning. It's Friday, August 27th, and we have gathered for our morning devotion, again using Brian McLaren's Seeking Aliveness. Today's devotion is called Get Involved. Often in the Bible, when there is a big problem, God prepares a person or people to act as God's partners or agent to solve it. In other words, God gets involved by challenging us to get involved. In this case, God prepared a person by the name of Moses. Moses was one of the babies whom Pharaoh required to be drowned in the Nile. His mother came up with a creative way to save him. She placed him in the Nile River as required, but first she put Moses in a little raft of reeds. His raft floated downstream where it was found by Pharaoh's daughter. She felt sorry for the little baby and decided to raise him as her own. So this vulnerable slave boy was adopted into a privileged household of Pharaoh. And on top of that, Moses' own mother was hired to be her nurse, to be his nurse. Quite a turn of events. Now Moses could live happily ever after, right? Well, not quite. And so, Brian offers us the story of a way that God saved the Hebrew people by using Moses, who was destined to die, to be put into the Nile to drown, yet his mother put him in this basket of reeds and sent him down afloat. This is another story of God's saving acts in the world to save his people, his chosen people. And God still continues to save his people today, us, all of us. God still finds ways to save us. And he calls up people to be those ones who go out and do this. In this case, it's Moses. But he still calls us to get involved in our societies, to get involved in our churches, to get involved in our service community projects, to be agents of grace in this world, to show the love of God by getting involved. That's the only way things can change, is if we were to get involved. So my question for you to reflect on this day is, how are you involved in your communities, your churches, your civic organizations? How are you involved? And how are you showing God's grace in your involvement? Amen.